All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. We're going to go over a sector that you guys need to pay attention to, all right? And it's going to be biotech. We'll break down the XBI chart as well as the LABU chart, what it is that I've been looking at on those. And then we'll take a look at biotech versus the market. Looking at it on a relative basis, it is breaking out. And also relative towards the small caps, it appears like it could be potentially trying to break out here as well. Then we'll take a look at some individual names. All right, many individual names with some great setups, some ones that have been performing very well, and some that have been lagging, maybe such as Bingo. Bionanogenomics, and maybe for someone that doesn't want to chase the strongest performing ones, you want to look for setups and some of the ones that have been lagging a little bit and could be due for a little bit of a catch-up trade. This is one of them potentially, right? So it's going to be a really good video. Biotechs have been super hot, and it's something I'm excited to cover with you guys. But as always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. It's not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So be sure to read through the disclaimer. If you're new to the channel, I started a newsletter for you guys. It's completely free called Investment Intelligence, giving out free, valuable finance trading content. And I also try to sprinkle in 1 to 2 free trade ideas a week in there. You can go back and check out the website and see some of the previous, newsletters that have been sent out. It's also in a little bit of a blog format. I haven't been putting as much out lately, as well as videos, honestly, just because I've been really sick over the past, 3 weeks. I'm trying to get over it. I'm still getting over it a little bit, but you guys can look forward to that. That's completely free. You can get that in your inbox. I have been active in the Discord though. You guys can join the Discord, the Investment Intelligence Discord. It's only $10 a month, and that's where you get full access to all the different analysis, all the different trade ideas. There's custom scripts, indicators, many other valuable resources, such as being able to see gamma levels, dark pool levels, and many other things as well. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and hop into it. And I posted the setup here on XBI, the most recent setup for the Discord members, not that long ago. Okay. And this is where we were looking at. We were looking at it right over here, with a very nice 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now, one of the reasons that we liked it was because it was trading above the anchored VWAP, which is going to be this purple line right here. Okay. So you see this purple line, that was our anchored VWAP right there. And, we liked that. And the reason being was that this lets us know that, hey, we're trading above the anchored VWAP. And you can see there was a nice retest right here of the anchored VWAP. And this lets us know that, hey, buyers are in control. And then we also got above some key levels over here that we're monitoring. And so this is a very easy place to set up a good risk to reward ratio. And typically you want to look for like a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And that's definitely what we got over here with this setup. Looking at it back when it was around 92, under $93, targeting 100 up here, and you can see it actually blew past that bullish price target up here. A very nice setup, and this has been a really, really great play. I mean, honestly, I've been covering XBI, since the October 2023 lows in the stock market, mentioning, the setups that we had there, and we extended this wave 3 much higher than I thought we would. I didn't think we would actually come all the way up to here, and being that we extended those targets, we knew that, hey, any pullbacks here were going to be potentially met with some buyers for a wave 4 pullback, for a wave 5 target to the upside, and we had put in a nice little base here, in the beginning of the year, and it's been off to the races ever since. And a lot of people like trading something like LABU, okay, which is going to be your bullish 3x ETF. Okay, so it's your 3x bullish biotech ETF. That finished up about 21% on the week. Also had a very, very nice setup here, right? I mean, what I was looking at was this nice basing pattern, right? We have a nice cup, right? A little bit of a handle right here. Was a clean setup to me. Some could even call this an inverse head and shoulders, right? With the left shoulder, and then here's your head, and then a right shoulder right here. And we're just now potentially breaking through this neckline area right now, and it still could be potentially lots of room to run. Okay, now 182.84, which we'll just kind of round that up, 182.5 to about 183 is the target, the initial target on this breakout here. And I wouldn't be surprised, okay, if we do get a little bit of a check back, right? And let's say we check back to this 140 to 120 zone. This is going to be a really good area of interest for me, right? Not only do you have the breakout from this key zone, All right, and you get a breakout retest. That sets up a really good risk reward ratio here. So you don't necessarily have to chase, but these are names that you want to be paying attention to, right? And you want to, look for high quality setups in some of these areas that are performing very well. And one way to see if a sector is performing very well is to look at its relative performance. Okay, and there's a couple different ways you can look at relative performance. In this case, we're comparing it to the market as a whole via the SPY. And so you can see here that it's been in a downtrend, right? And we just broke this downtrend, this year-long downtrend, right? This is the start of 2023, and it's been in a downtrend and had a very clean breakout, and it got above its 38.2 level here, its fib. And you see we had a very clean breakout retest of that zone, of that level, and then continuing up higher here above the 618. So above here, I mean, this looks really good. Once you're above the 618 on the fibs, the odds of a 100% tracement greatly increase. And so does this mean that, biotech is going to go to the moon? It doesn't have to mean that. But what it means is that, hey, if the SPY is pulling back a little bit or going sideways and biotech is still going up a little bit, then you're going to see this performance chart continue to head upwards. Or, if the SPY is dropping and XBI is just dropping less than the SPY, you're also going to see this go up. Okay. So that's how ratio charts and relative charts, are going to work. And when you take a look at it versus small caps, right? Because a lot of these biotech companies are small caps, you can see there's this key zone here that was tested many times in the past, right? If we were to go ahead and take a look, you can see back in 2019, 2020-ish, and then 2022, and then 2023, and here we are back in 2024. And the big question is, what are we going to do, after testing this zone? Do you guys think that biotech potentially could break out? I know a lot of people are really excited about small caps this year. And, biotechs are going to be one of those small cap sectors that I think you do want to pay attention to, and where we could see, a lot of nice moves. We'll see how that continues throughout the rest of the year. But so far, 2024 has been pretty good for the small caps, especially here recently. And if we were to take a look at some individual names, you have Viking Therapeutics. I mean, look at this, guys, from $36 up to about $100 really in one single week. I mean, that's absolutely insane. This is Viking Therapeutics right here. They had some good announcements on some of their drugs that they've got going on. You've got ARWR. This is Arrowhead. This is one to potentially watch out. Okay, it's got a nice little bit of a setup here. It's above its 38.2, all right, and we want to see if it can get above that 618. Above that 618, most likely we're going to be breaking through this downtrend here as well. And basically above $38, I think this one can easily get up to 48. Okay, so that's one that I'll be monitoring and watching. PCVX is another one that's just been a really, really strong performer. You can see it put in these lows around 2022, this nice multi-year base from 2021, 2022. And it's really just been off to the races ever since, hitting some bullish price targets above 72.36. It's pulling back, checking back now. So we're going to see how it works. There's a little bit of a fair value gap right here that you could say. And, I know I'm not the biggest person on fair value gaps, but, I have a little bit of a fair value gap right here. If you were to just draw a line roughly right around in the middle of that, a lot of people look for entries sometimes right around, the halfway point of this fair value gap. So maybe around $69, $68, you give it a shot and say, hey, maybe this thing can find some support here and we break back up, or you at least target that 72. Ultimately, the next price targets are going to be $85. So above 72, this thing can head up to $85. So definitely one to watch here as well. We've got CYTK, which I had to zoom out pretty far for this one just because I want you guys to see how dramatic this move has been here recently. Okay, so I mean, not only did the stock go from $26 up to 110, but if you look at the entire lifespan of the chart, it actually made new all-time highs here recently. Okay, and that's a pretty big deal, considering how far the stock dropped. I mean, it went from $110 all the way down to 288 and then back up to 107. So I mean, biotech is one of those sectors where when it's bad, it gets bad, right? And it gets ugly. It definitely does. I mean, you're looking at 98, 99% drawdowns. But when things start running and things start getting hot, I mean, these things will explode and explode quickly. So that's why I really like the sectors. It's as a trader, it's very momentum based. And you can look to capture some of the momentum, maybe not capture the whole move, because no one's perfect. You're not gonna, buy the exact bottom, sell the exact top, but maybe you can come in here and find some opportunities. KRTX is another one, really, really strong. Came back and retested this zone early in the year, in 2024 at the beginning of the year. Previous zone over here, previous resistance supply zone. And what do? Well, we check right back to that area, and then it's off to the races again, going from 158 all the way up to 316. Another stock here, another biotech stock that's went up, 100% like it was nothing. This is really interesting. We're consolidating here, and then we've got this long wick down here. So there was lots of sellers present here, but they weren't really able to capture, and buyers stepped back in and maintained this sideways consolidation here. It'd be really interesting to see, if this breaks to the upside or if this one is headed back to check back down to the 270 to 280 area for a retest. Bingo Bionanogenomics is another one. This is one of the ones that, right, it doesn't look like all of these other charts where it's just been going massively up, massively up. It kind of looks a little bit more like Arrowhead, right? And where we're saying, hey, maybe there's potential basing patterns here, and we're going to look to see if we can catch a breakout and catch that next momentum cycle, right? And so bingo is going to be another one of those. We've got a trend line here. It looks like we're breaking out and retesting this trend line, holding it pretty well. There's a pretty key level right here, this key zone from about 120 to about 130 roughly. This chart isn't zoomed out enough to show you guys some of the prior levels. But, this is a nice little bit of a zone here. It seems like it's trying to put out a base, seems like it's trying to break out. And, basically, if we can get above 130, 135, I think this one can come up to the 150s, and above 150, your next target is going to be 180. So, these are the biotech stocks that I'm watching right now. It's not just 7 stocks, guys. Okay. Everyone tells you that the market's only rallying because of 7 stocks. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. Google not looking great. Apple not looking great. Tesla not looking great. A lot of these stocks have not been trading really well when it comes to the Magnificent Seven stocks. And they're telling you that it's only NVIDIA rallying that's keeping the market going and continuing higher. Meanwhile, the stock market just made all-time highs this past Friday. And, we're seeing a lot of other sectors really pick up some of the slack from the Magnificent Seven stocks. And so then you have to ask yourself the question, well, what happens potentially if, Apple and Google and some of these other names really start to rally again? Maybe then potentially the market can rally even more. Or if those continue to be laggards, a lot of the profit taking potentially from those areas, are moving into different sectors, right? And so I did a video here recently on the retail stocks on XRT, the retail ETF. There's been a lot of really hot names that look even more impressive than some of these biotech names. Right. And now I'm dropping a video for you guys here on XBI, showing you guys the biotech sector and how that one's been performing and really outperforming the S&P 500 here recently on a relative basis. So there are other sectors, there are other things you can play in the market. I just don't fall for the narrative that it's only 7 stocks really propelling the market higher. There's lots of good names out there, and there's lots of good trade opportunities across the market. You just have to be open to them, and be willing to look for them rather than just looking for names and setups in the same 5 or 6 stocks that you always trade. Appreciate you guys watching. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Okay, you can see some profit screenshots from the Discord. Link to join is in the description. $10 a month. Sign up for the newsletter. That's completely free. So either way, you can sign up for the newsletter, get 1 or 2 free trade ideas a week, or you can sign up for the Discord. That's $10 a month. Either way, I think you guys will enjoy the value provided on there. You can also check out the Ko-Fi page. There's a Ko-Fi page, link in the description. You click on this commissions tab right here, and this is where you can actually request YouTube videos. If you have a viewer request for a video, if you want to book a 30-minute or a 1-hour session, I do lots of these coaching sessions all the time. go over day trading dynamics, swing trading strategies, interactive Q&A. Some people want to go over options with me and different option strategies or how to hedge, leverage the shares that you own to get, hedges via your options, different things like that. All the Discord members also get a discount on the coaching sessions. They get 20% off. So, kind of another little incentive to join the Discord. But anyways, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm out.